My Chicago Bears.
Welcome to the Barely Educated podcast. This is Chris. I am flying solo today. Mark is at a conference out east this week, and we were not able to connect to find a time to do a show together today. I had stuff, he's got kids, I've got kids, and things happen. So
that's a real shame.
But we did want to get something and check in with you before the Bears take on the Pittsburgh Steelers this Sunday at Soldier Field. Normally we start with our...
You suck, Chris.
Oh, Mark is here. Hello, Mark. How are you?
Cluster floose.
Thanks so much. That means a lot. Okay. Well, you feel free to chime in anytime you need to, okay? So, Bears are going to be hosting the Pittsburgh Steelers and the old Nemesis, Aaron Rodgers. So, we'll get to that. At this point, Mark and I normally do our After Further Review segment. So, real quick, looking back at the Bears and Vikings game. Again, the Bears won 19-17 on the road. Boy, that sure looked like it was going to unfold the way Week 1 did, didn't it, for a while, with a double-digit lead and then just the collapse in the fourth quarter and making J.J. McCarthy look like a good quarterback for the second time this season. Man, that would have been hard to take if the best that he looked all year was both times that he came back to beat the Bears coming from behind. Fortunately, that didn't happen. Duvernay returns a kickoff back into Vikings territory, and Cairo Santos kicks the game-winning field goal. Yay! Bears win. But even if Duvernay had not had that big run back, I still felt fairly confident that the Bears could come back and win that game. There were 53 seconds left or something like that, and all three timeouts. And we have seen Caleb and the Bears get in position for a game-winning field goal and mount another come-from-behind victory. So I really wasn't that worried, and that's an unusual and different feeling for me now to think, okay, the Bears still have a shot here with less than a minute left. It's only taken not even a full season, just over half a season, for the Bears' culture and expectations to start moving in a completely different direction than they were even just 1 year ago. And still getting used to it. Still feels kind of weird, and I start to, when I start to feel confident, then I start getting mad at myself for feeling confident, like, don't feel confident, because this is Bears, and they're going to find a way to blow it, but perhaps that's changing. Caleb in that game did not have a particularly good game. He wasn't bad, but just a downward dip in this season that is going to have probably a couple more dips and some really high moments too. And I said before the season started that we would need to expect that this year with the new coach and Caleb, and because it's basically a second rookie year for Caleb. We can't really count much of last year as being any good for Caleb, other maybe even just like digression. Like he's got to get back to where he was as a rookie just to defloose, if you will, or get that floose stank off of him and the whole offense. But man, what Ben Johnson has done in 10 games, 11 weeks to change things has really been impressive and fun to watch. This is a fun time to be a fan as the Bears are getting better, and it feels different to me than the 2018 Matt Nagy first year. For a couple of reasons. One, that the 2018 defense was really, really good. They didn't just cause a lot of turnovers, although they did do that. They were a great defense, and they won so many of those games, especially from like the midway point of the season on, where Nagy's offense started to kind of get figured out a bit. If you look at the production of the offense throughout the course of 2018, I I believe you see that the production goes down once the razzle dazzle and the misdirection and the look at this cool play stuff of Nagy started to wear off a bit. So it feels different than that year. This feels much more of a sustained, solid foundation laying season, at least in terms of the offense. The offense is really shown some nice promise for what can be built on in the future. There's perhaps a developing star in Roma Dunze. I really like what you see from Luther Burden. Hopefully he gets some more opportunities, as Zacchaeus probably has not earned to get the ball as much as he has the first half of the season. So love to see more Burden there. And of course, Colston Loveland. It's been like almost a switch. Yeah, he had some injuries early on in the year, but man, he has really shown a lot of exciting potential and possibilities for the future. So I really like what big picture what we're seeing from the offense. Defense, gotta get more of a pass rush going. That will fix so much, especially with secondary players hurt. And frankly, can we trust that Kyler Gordon and Jalen Johnson are going to be healthy going forward after this year? I mean, they've both been pretty injury prone. They're both great players, especially Jalen. He is one of the best cornerbacks in the league, but he has been hurt a lot in his career. And Gordon too. So I think that you can't rely on them always being healthy and ready to go, even though that will make, obviously, the secondary a lot better. The best way to help your secondary is to get a good pass rush, good, consistent, from the line pass rush. And we saw that on display in the Thursday night game last night, Buffalo and Houston. Houston's front four was beasts. They were monsters. They made an MVP in Josh Allen look quite pedestrian and slow. They made Josh Allen look slow, which has that was interesting and different to see. He looked confused and overwhelmed, and normally he can take over a game, and he was held in check. And that reminded me of the Super Bowl also, where the front four pressure of the Eagles got to Mahomes, and Mahomes was not Mahomes in that Super Bowl. Anyway, all this to say, the Bears really need to get at least one more beast on the line to really improve the pass rush. And it's not going to happen this year, obviously, but maybe that's what you look for round 1 or 2 of the draft next year. You need a left tackle too, so I guess you got to decide which is a greater need, or if there's a great left tackle available in the first round, but the defensive ends are not so great looking, then that makes the choice easier. But if you got just a beast, like a Will Anderson type, how he looked last night, if you got that kind of guy available in where you're picking next year, you got to consider that, because that shoring up the pass rush will help so much with this Bears defense. And right now they're winning because of their offense for the most part. So let's get the defense caught up a little bit.
Rah, rah, shish kebab, blah, 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 blah.
I couldn't agree more, Mark. Thanks.
Will you shut up, man?
Listen,
Okay, moving on to this Sunday, the Bears and the Steelers. Last I checked, the line was Bears by 2.5. And this is Aaron Rodgers coming back to town. And I'm having a hard time being all worked up for Aaron Rodgers, just because he's not the Packers quarterback anymore, and it's not the Packers coming into Soldier Field. I don't know. I know a lot of people. I've heard a lot of podcasts and radio, people talking about how they really want the Bears to beat up on Aaron Rodgers. And yeah, I guess that'd be great, but it doesn't. I'm not as concerned about that. I want them to beat Aaron Rodgers because he's the quarterback of the Steelers, and the Bears play the Steelers this Sunday. So I don't know how Mark feels about it. We haven't discussed it. And I'm sure former student Tim
Shut up, Tim.
Is torn as well, being a fan of both teams.
Shut up, Tim.
So this is normally where Mark would give us some good stats to chew on before Sunday's game. I am not nearly as savvy with all that, so I'll just point out a couple things here. Bears offense. Believe it or not, the Bears have the number 4 offense in the NFL. They're averaging 374 yards a game. And they're number 8 in points per game at 25.8 points per game. Number 2 in rushing yards at just under 147. So those are some really improved offensive numbers for the Bears. The Steelers, if we look at their defense, they're actually ranked number 28 in terms of yardage at the league right now, in the league. Interestingly, the Bears are 27, so they're giving up just about the same amount of yardage per game. However, and I think this is going to be important, the Steelers have allowed 24 touchdowns, while the Bears have allowed 31 touchdowns. So Steelers give up about the same amount of yardage, but they're not giving up as many points as the defense. And yeah, sure, some of that is perhaps a little skewed from the Bears' beatdown from the Lions in week 2. But that doesn't cover all of it. So Steelers definitely better at keeping teams out of the end zone than the Bears are. Flip to the other side of the ball for both teams. As I pointed out, the Bears are number 4 in offense. 374 yards per game, 27 touchdowns scored. And the Steelers, in terms of yardage, are ranked 28th at 287 yards per game. So the Bears are outgaining the Steelers per game about 100 yards, almost 100 yards. However, the Steelers have also scored 27 touchdowns. So even though the Bears are outgaining the Steelers by almost 100 yards per game, they've scored the same amount of points. And we've seen that with the Bears having to settle for field goals a lot after getting into the red zone. So the Steelers have been much more efficient in terms of scoring with the amount of yardage that they get per game, whereas the Bears have outgained, even though they've outgained the Steelers, the points they've put up have not reflected that. So take that into account when getting ready for this game on Sunday. That being said, I think being at home and Aaron Rodgers possibly being injured, we still don't even know if he's really going to play. Mason Rudolph may play. There was talk that Rodgers may have fractured his wrist, but has not been ruled out yet. But it is possible that Mason Rudolph plays instead of Aaron Rodgers. We'll have to wait and see an announcement this weekend, and maybe even it'll be game day. I don't know. But that will possibly affect the outcome of the game as well. But the Bears are favored by 2.5. I think that's probably fair, and I will, based on how they've been playing this year up to this point, I'll say they win 27-24 is my pick. Bears win over the Steelers.
The Bears.
And I think they're going to need this one because after this week, schedule gets a lot harder. So, got to stack wins when you can get them. I don't know. What do you think, Mark?
Velus Jones.
No, you don't have to worry about Velus Jones. He's not on the team anymore.
I'm an idiot, everyone.
Looking at the rest of the division this week, got a big game up at the frozen tundra of Lambeau Field as the Packers will host the Vikings at 12 o'clock. Right now, the Packers are 6.5-point favorites. That seems about right, I think, although the Packers have not been clicking on all cylinders lately either, but on paper, I still think you got to like Jordan Love over J.J. McCarthy, and they just play well in Lambeau. Well, maybe not all the time this year, they haven't, but but as much as I'd love to see the Vikings win, I don't see it personally, but so prove me wrong, Vikings. And then the Lions will be hosting the New York Football Giants. And right now the Lions are listed as 12.5-point favorites. They came off a loss last week, so maybe they're not quite clicking on all cylinders yet either. Or Maybe they won't be. Who knows? It's still weird to think about the Bears being in first place, you know? I'm trying not to get too excited because I don't think it's going to last this year, but still trying to enjoy it at the same time. So in the division, looks like I think the Packers are going to beat the Vikings. I think the Lions will take care of the Giants. There's an NFC East battle, Cowboys and Eagles. That should be a fun game. Rams and Buccaneers with two conference potential Super Bowl representatives there. So, yeah. And then we got Thanksgiving later this week. Wow. And the Bears play on Black Friday. So go ahead and mark your calendars. 2 o'clock, Black Friday. The Bears will be playing the Eagles. They'll be in Philly. That'll be a rough one, but some bonus football on Friday, and it's the beloved. All right. Well, any final thoughts, Mark, before we get out of here?
Sorry, Chris. I'm a terrible person.
It's all good, man. No worries. Hope your conference is going well. All right, that'll do it for this episode of Barely Educated. Thanks for listening. Find us on the socials at @barely_educated. Email us at bearlyeducatedpod@gmail.com. And check out our website, which is through buymeacoffee.com. Go to buymeacoffee.com/barely_educated. You can join our honor roll for $3 a month, and we will send you a Barely Educated t-shirt that you can show your friends or maybe give as a Christmas gift to someone else. Mark and I will be back soon, and hopefully we got a win or two to talk about. Until then, take care, Bears fans. If we don't talk to you till after Thanksgiving, I hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving and beginning of the holiday season. Bear down, friends.
You suck, Chris.
That insolent blackguard.
Shut up, Tim.
What?
You owe me an apology.
Oh no.
Bears.
I love the Bears.